The following production is part of the Play Some Video Games podcast network.
I say it's time we focus on what really matters. The games. Who's with me?
Hello and welcome to episode 49 of the PlayStation Experience podcast. We are still sort of on a summer break, so this will be another pretty quick episode. I am one of your hosts, Seth, and pretty soon we'll get back to normal schedules and things. Actually, this is episode 49. Our next episode will be episode 50. So on episode 50, we will do something more than just me talking about the newest releases and things like that. So, before I go any farther, thank you to our PSVG Patreon producers, Coach Hulk, Edwin Callow, Barry Cathcart, Josh Borboni, Chris M., Devin Tyus, Paul Calicote, Kyle Hyman, Benny Liu, and Joel Voss. And with that, I'm just going to go on and kind of cover through the drop. I'm going to hit on a few news items and then talk a little bit about games I've been playing recently, and then sign off and call it a week. So the drop, the new PlayStation games for this week is actually pretty light. The Angry Birds Movie 2 VR Under Pressure. Anyway. Now the birds and piggies are best frenemies. Red and Leonard team up to assemble a cracked team and investigate mysterious Eagle Island. But first they must get there in one piece, in a giant piggy submarine. Can the birds and pigs cooperate deep beneath the waves, or will they get that sinking feeling as the pressure rises? I believe this is asynchronous multiplayer. I'm not sure if that's the right word, but there's a mode, at least, where the person wearing the VR helmet is doing things, and then people not wearing the helmet can control like things maybe to throw at the guy in the VR helmet. I'm not exactly sure how that works, but it sounded moderately interesting. Anyway, looks like the 25th anniversary edition of Corpse Killer, so that sounds very exciting. It's really about. There's not really anything else that's jumping out at me as being a whole lot. So very, very light week this week. I'd say keep on diving into EA Access and Madden and things like that. Also, actually, this week, if you are a PlayStation Plus subscriber, the new games released this week for free on that is the Wipeout Omega Collection, which combines Wipeout 2048, Wipeout HD, and the HD Fury expansion into one turbocharged package. Of course, Wipeout is kind of like the original. I don't know if it's really the original, but the quintessential futuristic racer, which I've been super close to buying a number of times, and I'm actually pretty excited that this is coming to PlayStation Plus. And also, if you have PSVR, you can experience the entire game in PSVR. So, the other game this month is Sniper Elite 4. Slip behind enemy lines and work to drive out Axis forces from the Italian peninsula. Scout huge, varied environments as a covert operative, and take out enemies before setting up the perfect hit on high-value targets. I've never played a Sniper Elite game. I probably won't play this one, but still, those are two really good games, and I'm looking forward, especially to jumping into Wipeout. So, other big news from this last week that impacts things that I'm generally interested in. No Man's Sky Beyond is out on August 14th. Beyond is the next expansion, free DLC update to No Man's Sky. And it brings the VR mode for the first time. The entire game is playable in VR, and you can play it with non-VR owners. Everyone can join in the same thing. So now they've created an expanded online experience that will bring social and multiplayer together and empowers players everywhere in the universe to meet and play together. While this brings people together like never before and has many recognizable online elements, we don't consider No Man's Sky to be an MMO. It won't require a subscription, won't contain microtransactions, and the update will be free for all existing players. It also adds VR support, as previously mentioned, and it says there's a third part of this major update as well, but they haven't talked about what that is. So, I'm not sure, I'm not itching to jump back into No Man's Sky. I have put in a lot of time on it, but it's a great game, and it's really great that they are continuing to update it. Other thing over on PlayStation Blog right now is Call of Duty Modern Warfare, 22 things you need to know about multiplayer. So, the big news on this one, well, maybe there's other big news, but the first big news is that cross-platform play is coming. So you can play against PS4, PC, and Xbox One players. I don't know why there's no Nintendo Switch there. Crickets. Anyway, that's cool. You can also plug a keyboard into your PS4. So that's exciting. That is exciting for people who want to do that. So Season Pass is no more. No more Season Pass. There will be free downloadable maps post-launch. Pretty extensive weapon customization. Progression and gameplay are unified across multiplayer, the co-op Spec Ops experience, and vice versa. And there, I guess, also is a single-player experience. Night vision goggles look pretty cool. Laser discipline, that's right. When you use a laser attachment and aim down the scope, it's easier for enemies to see where you are aiming from. So you need to be fast and efficient there. They have a 2 versus 2 gunfight map on small flash maps. And there's a bunch of other things. There's no need for me to read through all those. It's a great little rundown on the PS blog. But of course, the big news, considering PlayStation's past stances here, is that cross-platform play is available. So now, if you're on Xbox One, you'll actually be able to find people to play against. But that was a joke. I'm just joking. Please forgive me. And I'm going to end on just talking about the games I've been playing recently. Basically just EA Access. Playing Madden. Haven't played now for a few days. I kind of goofed up and played a few games one day and then didn't manually save it, figuring that, hey, after every game, usually, it auto-saves. Well, in this case, it did not. So the next time I checked in, I found out that I was still on just on week 3 instead of on week 5 or 6, whatever I should have been on, and I just lost the motivation to keep playing. So I've still got 5 hours left of my trial time, and not sure what I'm going to do with that, but I'm going to use it, I think, but I was pretty bummed out by that, which again, was my own fault for making that assumption, but still kind of annoying. The other games I'm playing, tried Need for Speed Payback, and really, really enjoying that so far. It's a good arcade racer. Its handling model is better than the Cruise, and it's a good game. But I'm still kind of just going through the story right now, and I don't know. See, I intend to at least get through the story. I also started Burnout Paradise. which I played back on PS3, and just jumped into that yesterday. Enjoy it, in a world where, I feel like games like The Crew and Need for Speed and any of these open world arcade racing games are, pay their debt to Burnout Paradise. That's sort of the first one, at least the first one that I remember playing. And there are things. Burnout Paradise is maybe more arcadey. I don't like that it's not the real cars, even though they look like you can tell which cars are supposed to be which models and things like that. My biggest problem with open world racing games, and I'm figuring it out in playing Burnout Paradise, is that I like racing games. They don't even necessarily have to be sim racing games like like Gran Turismo or F1 or whatever. But I like knowing where I'm going. These races for Burnout Paradise are just, across the map. And it doesn't it tells you where you're going, but it doesn't, there's not a specific way to get there, which is great. It gives you some freedom to figure routes out and things like that. But just for me and the way my own brain is programmed and whatever, it's really hard for me to get across the map and make the right turns and things like that. So, anyway, I am having fun with it. It does. It looks dated. Still looks like a PS3 game, a little bit shinier, but it is fun. It really what it does more than anything. Later this month, on August 27th, Wreckfest comes to consoles, and it is being developed by some former Burnout developers. And this makes me a lot more excited for Wreckfest, which is that track-based racing, but still has a great damage model and also has a demolition derby, and it's not sim, it's still arcade, but is a little bit more sim and more focused on racing, less on just traversing an open world environment. So it's just more my speed of game. So anyway, that's how I've been using my EA Access subscription so far. I also have Fee Fi Fo Fum downloaded that I look forward to trying out. I have NBA Live 19 downloaded, which I might dip into at some point here. And Titanfall 2 I want to dive back into and maybe replay the single-player campaign again on that. And with that, going to sign off. I hope everybody out there is doing great, and we will be back soon with episode 50 of the PlayStation Experience podcast.
And though we may pledge fanboy allegiances to different flags, deep down inside we all serve one master, one king. And his name is gaming. Forever may he reign!